Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Super Tease video. And Blizzard has just revealed a first look at the next patch for the War Within. It's going to be the final patch, and in today's video, I'm going to be live reacting to it to see what exactly is going on. Is this going to get everybody back on board? Because it seems like we're all dropping off like flies at the moment, but let's get started. It looks pretty epic based on just the title here, The Ghosts of Kesh. It's ethereal based.
Hello everyone and welcome to Wowcast. Today we're going to talk about the next major content update, Ghosts of Kesh. To help us uncover what's in store, I'm joined by two developers who helped bring Kesh to life. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Drew D'Souza, and I'm a lead encounter designer.
I'm Steph Yoon. I'm an associate lead quest designer, and
Okay, so I think this is likely going to be focused around dungeons with an encounter designer and a quest designer. But do note that the last time they had one of these, they had a PvP guy, and he was talking about quests. So it is possible it's going to be more than that.
that was also the point on this content.
First things first, what is Kesh and why now?
So Kesh isn't a new term to us. You know, way back in Burning Crusade, we first heard about them when we met the Ethereals in Netherstorm. And, you know, they told us tales of Kesh, a beautiful arid homeworld.
This is a
for
cool
the
follow-up
Ethereals
to this.
Until nemeses, the all-devouring, came and consumed their world soul. So we helped the Ethereals get revenge in Netherstorm, and we thought the matter was finished. And for the first time here in Ghosts of Kesh,
That
we'll
looks
be
sick.
setting foot on what's remaining of that planet, this shattered, void-touched land, because we've heard that evil forces are trying to resurrect nemeses, the all-devouring, and if that happens, the Ethereals are toast, and then Azeroth will be next.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too good for us. So, who's going to help us try to stop nemeses?
You know, with a threat like this, it's all hands on deck. Within the last major content update, Illyria sort of took a step back and undermined. But she'll be here front and center with her old mentor, Locust Walker, as he brings us to his old home planet. And the eager players among us will have already gone through the content in Legacy of Aerithor, where there is a feature called Lore Walking, which gives hints to sort of the content that's coming up here in Ghosts of Kesh. In there, we learned that Venari and the brokers are interested in helping. Not only that, they've brought their entire city, Tazavesh, the Veiled Market, from the Shadowlands and placed it here right in Kesh. So we'll be able to use that as a home base. We're going to gather as much help.
We're getting a new major city? This was a dungeon back in Shadowlands, so this is interesting. This is gonna be a major city.
Help as we can so that we can face nemeses in the raid Manaforge Omega.
I'm excited to see Venari. I know a lot of other people are too. You mentioned the raid. Can you tell us more about that, Drew?
Absolutely, there's a lot to talk about. So our raid in Ghosts of Kesh is Manaforge Omega. It's a giant facility that's been built up on the planet to harvest cosmic energy. We're going to be fighting our way
That
in
entrance,
through
though.
to take on Shadowguard's Ethereals, who are trying to revive Nemesis. While we're in there, we'll face down with an army of Ethereals still being wrapped, the creature they're harvesting silk from, and even a mysterious council of demon hunters that have found their way onto Kesh. Oh, and of course, it's going to end with a cosmic level battle with Nemesis, who is the biggest raid boss we've ever made.
How big are we talking?
Like City of Stormwind sized?
What?
Yeah.
Do you have any examples of boss mechanics in the raid?
One that I think is really cool is actually our intro. Like I mentioned, this is a giant mana intake facility, and we're actually going to come in through the pipe where they've taken the mana. We're actually going to utilize a artifact cloak we're introducing in Ghosts of Kesh. The
Artifact cloak.
To turn ourselves into energy and trick the filtration system. So our first boss encounter is against a warden that's overlooking these pipes, and we're going to need to go in and out of energy forms to survive.
I'm excited for my druid to have another artifact. So let's break down Rishi Wraps. What's the fantasy behind them?
We wanted to give the players an upgradable artifact.
Just get an artifact weapon. It's artifact cloak.
Game of WoW, but didn't interfere
cool.
with any tier sets. So the Reshi Wraps are an artifact cloak that helps us turn our bodies from corporeal into an energy form.
Is that like
You know,
immune
a
to
very
something?
powerful person within the campaign helps us gather these ethereal
Or is it
artifacts
just the
and
raid?
coalesces them into the Reshi Wraps. And it turns our bodies into energy form and basically allows us to see the world through the ethereal's eyes. With this, we'll be able to
So it's like demon
interface
sight.
with an outdoor activity called Phasediving, which allows us to enter untethered space, which is an entirely different way to look at Koresh. It's an overlay that introduces new creatures, new objectives, new world quests, new mechanics. And the cool thing about the Reshi Wraps, it sort of interfaces with so much content across Ghosts of Koresh. You can use it in the open world, you can use it in the dungeon, you can use it in the raid, and in delves as well.
Seeing the world
So
in
not
the eyes of
PvP.
ethereal sounds really, really cool. You mentioned delves. What is the new delve coming to Ghosts of Koresh?
So we have a new delve coming in Ghosts of Koresh, and this is called the Archival Assault. It takes place in the Azure Vaults and Dragon Isles. You might be familiar with that place, but this time it's chock full of ethereals, ethereal pirates, some brokers, and they're plundering the place, and we're going to put a stop to that with our buddy Bran. You'll be able to take advantage of your Reshi Wrap to unlock unique challenge gateways. They might have boss rushes or unique challenge rooms and need the cloak to access them. Additionally, we're doing a little bit of a social feature in here where you'll be able to see your friend's presence. They might be able to leave you messages. You see their ghost running around where they died, maybe.
What?
Yeah.
So I can make fun of my friend dying in a certain place.
And
Got it.
speaking of dying, let's talk about our nemesis for this season.
Okay.
You might be familiar with her. Her name is Nexus Princess Kaiveza. You have unfinished business with her in Nerebar. She's got a whole new bag of tricks for you. She's not going to hold back this time, and it's a 1v1 scenario, so buckle up.
That's so exciting. I loved her fight in Nerebar Palace, and so I was always wondering where she vanished off to, because you don't actually defeat her. Let's head back to the outdoor world. What can we do on Koresh?
Yeah, there's two major systems. The first one is called ecological succession. When we met the ethereals for the first time in Netherstorm, the two things that I noticed were their energy forms.
I like that
and
they're throwing
really
back
cool
to
ecodomes,
this in
right?
TBC.
These systems that allowed them to create
Look at that
biomes
up-res.
inside that didn't match what was outside. And
Bro.
here, basically, you'll be
The art team is always goated, bro. Just seeing that side by side of the TBC with the old domes, just one solidified color to these domes. That's an insane upgrade.
didn't match what was outside. And here, basically, you'll be helping run one. Venari is trying to bring life back to those shredded parts of Koresh. And with that, she needs your help to fill it with animals and creatures that really thrive in the Koresh
They're the same
ecosystem.
ecodomes.
What this means is that she'll ask you to go back to previous zones, get animals, and experiment and see if they can survive in the Koresh ecosystem, and then release them to create a thriving ecology. Think of it as like
That's cool.
a void Jurassic Park, where you're just sort of like trying to make sure that this beautiful place can thrive. The other feature I want to talk about is Phasediving. I already mentioned it a little bit when I was talking about the Reshi Wraps, but it's basically an overlay across all of Koresh, where you get to switch to energy form and enter untethered space to access a whole slew of new content. You can expect to see anything that you normally see in the outdoors, you know, treasures, rares, lore objects.
It looks like demon sight for demon hunters, except spectral. It's like spectral sight, so you can see all the little hidden monsters. It's probably the same mechanic, because look how the screen glows like pink and purple, except you'll be able to see monsters with purple and see extra items as well, it looks like.
All that, but there's also things that are unique specifically to Phasediving. One of the features that I can talk about here is called Warrants, where you're going to be helping the Constable of Tazavesh hunt down notorious monsters.
I am looking forward to also building my own ecosystem. That sounds so cool. Anything with animals, you got me sold. Earlier we spoke about the new raid. What else is coming to Season 3?
Oh, there's a lot to talk about here. So first off, we have a new dungeon coming with Ghosts of Koresh.
Yeah.
It's called Ecodome Eldani. It's very important to the Ethereals. It's a 3-boss dungeon. We're going to be fighting through Devourers, invading one of these places, eating some of the wildlife Steph talked about earlier. That's bad. We're also going to be fighting off a force of Wastelanders that have taken over this place. We're going to fight our way through and figure out why they want this place. One more note with this dungeon is it'll be immediately available on normal, heroic, and baseline mythic with the update on Ghosts of Koresh.
I think the really cool thing about Ecodome Eldani too is that the canonical route that the storyline takes place is the campaign, the raid, and then Ecodome Eldani. And that's not a thing that we do often, you know, so I'm really looking forward to seeing
So the
how people
dungeon is the
react
final
to
part of
meeting.
this.
So what are the dungeons in the dungeon pool?
Oh yeah, let's dive into that as well. Let's talk about the returning ones first. So we're going to head back to Revendreth and visit our friends, the Venthyr in the Halls of Atonement. So the next two, like Steph mentioned, Tazavesh is coming
Yeah,
back.
of course.
So we said Tazavesh had come back.
Of course.
That was a mega dungeon when it was first introduced, so we're going to break it in 2 pieces, of course. We're going to have Tazavesh Streets of Wonder, where we're actually fighting through the markets and bazaars and streets of Tazavesh, chasing down Solia. And then we'll have the second half, which is Solia's Gambit, where we're chasing him through portals and eventually having our final showdown. Tazavesh will also be returning as a mega dungeon experience in Ghosts of Koresh. Starting with Season 3, you'll be able to play it in hard mode as the baseline mythic difficulty. It'll have increased challenges, hard mode mechanics, and really awesome rewards. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we also had a community vote for the last 4. What were the winners?
Yeah, it was really cool to see what players' favorite dungeons were in the War Within, and the 4 that players chose were Operation Floodgate from Season 2, going back to punch some goblins, Priory of the Sacred Flame, just awesome Hollowfall vibes throughout. And then we're going to round that out with 2 dungeons from Season 1 of The War Within, Arakara, City of Echoes, and the Dawnbreaker. Just
The
quick note for
Dawnbreaker
Season
made
1
it through?
dungeons, we are going to take a pass, on the visuals, the combat pacing.
Did they
cast
pick based
times,
on the
and
loot that
abilities
came
to
from
make
those
sure they're aligned
dungeons?
with Season 2 dungeons.
Are there any other important notes for players to know about for Season 3?
PvP?
Actually, not directly Season 3 related, but on the day of the update for Ghosts of Koresh, you're going to have access to non-bountiful delves and all Season 3 dungeons for heroic and baseline mythic difficulties. That means there will be Season 3 tuning in there, but also Season 3 rewards. You can get yourself a head start. Of course, Mythic Plus and the raid will open the following week, but you should have plenty to sink your teeth into on day 1. And oh yeah, one more thing. We've heard feedback for a long time now about how dungeon checkpointing works, especially in like Mythic Keystones where your timer's ticking down and whatnot. We're going to revisit our philosophy there on how long a run back is and when they unlock, and we actually want to visualize some of this in game through what we're calling waystones. So as you unlock checkpoints, you'll have an icon on your map, and you'll also have these stones that warp in and show you, if I release, this is where I'm coming back. I don't want people asking that question anymore.
That is so exciting because I can't remember for the life of me every checkpoint in a dungeon, so thank you guys. And what about class sets?
Yeah, there's new set bonuses to talk about as well. In Manaforge
Ooh.
Omega, we're trying something different with the set bonuses.
Ooh. These are all very different from each other. We've got some like fell style for some classes. I'm surprised how little these actually match. Wait, I was like, ooh, because they put the druid at the front. I assume that's the druid. Maybe that's the demon hunter. The mage one. They don't. There's not like a huge amount of risk here. Are these the elite sets? I need to watch more of this. These don't look as impressive on first glance.
Up until now, they've been focused on your spec or your class. With this update, we're actually going to target your hero talents.
Ooh.
So in my case, I play an Arms Warrior, I play Colossus. I'll have bonuses targeting Demolish, but also have spec hooks if I'm like a Prot Warrior versus an Arms Warrior to make sure.
Okay, demolish damage increased by 20% and critical strike damage of your abilities increased by 20% on targets affected by your demolish for 10 seconds based on the number of stacks consumed. Your 2 set, demolish increases the critical strike chance of your next 2 mortal strikes by 100%. Mortal strikes increase your rend and deep wounds damage by a... Okay, they're breaking the bank with this one, I guess. Like, what?
Make sure that they're still competitive. We got you on the spec level, but we're targeting hero talents.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, and players can look forward to a lot of class updates as well.
Okay.
A lot of talent updates for
Yeah.
specs such as
Unholy
Monks
DK.
and Unholy Death Knights. Now, along with Season 3's PvE content, there's also a new PvP season. There are several PvP talents that are being updated as well. And for those of us who like outdoor world PvP, there is an entire island called Vanquisher's Wake.
I'll be avoiding that.
And I'll be there.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like him. What?
Before we wrap up, what are you both most excited
There's
for
a
this
new world
update?
PvP zone.
For me,
Bro, is that going to be like Timeless Isle? Is that going to be like Timeless Isle? Please say that's going to be like Timeless Isle. If that's like Timeless Isle, I'm in, bro. We get PvP talent updates, to some class changes, Timeless Isle back, like a new version of it. Let's see. Let's see.
I'd have to say it's Dimensius. That's going to be a cosmic level encounter. There's planets blowing up. It's awesome. Huge laser beams, you name it. Additionally, I think we have a really awesome dungeon pool this season. I'm excited for players to check out Tazavesh hard mode.
I am also really excited about Dimensius, like such a glow up from the blueberry that he was before.
All of the art
But
is
the thing that
insanely
I'm most
updated.
excited about, we're in the War Within, and the War Within is part of the World Soul Saga, a trilogy of expansions that like interweave their story all throughout. And so the campaign and the story within Ghosts of Koresh will matter so much more to the next expansion than
He
it
looks
has
sick.
ever done before. I'm really looking forward to seeing how players go through the campaign and absorb the story.
I'm excited for everything you guys have mentioned. That's Ghosts of Koresh, the void-touched major update coming to the War Within. Thank you, Steph and Drew, for hanging out with me and putting all your hard work into this update. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you in Koresh.
We weren't forgotten. I was worried there, man. We were coming in at like 11 minutes. I was sitting here like, are we really not even going to say it? Like at all? Like not a single thing? Not a single thing? I think we got maybe more than I was expecting, honestly. So they're going to be doing talent reworks. Unholy DKs, maybe you can be happy about that. They only mentioned the 2, right? And Brewmaster's kind of so at least when it comes to PvP, maybe there will be more. That set bonus looks like they're absolutely going to break the game. They're going to absolutely break the game. That's the most overpowered set bonus I think I've read ever of all time for just Warrior. That was just one set of hero talents. And also, so how is that going to work when you have 2 different hero talents? Like, is it going to switch if you switch your hero talent tree? So you're effectively getting like 2 set bonuses per spec. So if you flip your hero talent tree, the set bonus will flip to that one as well. So it's almost like twice the amount of set bonuses, unless it's only going to target one and then you have to play that hero talent tree. I think that's the only real question I have from that. I like that they tied in the TBC zone to make the ethereals relevant within the current content. I really want to see some more narrative driven stuff. I feel like narrative, storytelling, it's key to getting people back into the game. I think it's really key. And I've seen a lot of criticisms of this most recent patch that a lot of the storytelling's happening out of game. It's happening in books, it's happening in audiobooks. And it's hard to like tie everything together because characters that have like long-standing histories and traditions, suddenly in game, they're doing the opposite of what their character has been built upon for 20 years. And you'd have to have read the book outside to know what's going on. So players are confused with what's going on with their characters and their decisions and their behavior and their demeanor in a lot of cases. So I really want to see like a cinematic for this patch, something that ties everything together for the whole expansion, because the War Within started out really strong. I thought it was really good, taking the risks with Khadgar and Dalaran and pulling us all in that way. And then it kind of went a little bit off course with Undermine. And maybe I just feel like maybe we're taking too long to start tying these pieces together. Because I think the theme of this is a strong theme. I think a lot of players have been wondering what's going on with the ethereals. More specifically, so I'm interested to check that out. The new PvP zone also, we're actually getting like a dedicated zone for it instead of just like a one-off extra quest, it looks like, which is cool. We're gonna get to see all of that. So if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.